I'm Sam.
And I'm Craig.
We're human beings. And we like movies.
We'll be doing reviews of brand new releases,
Old classics,
entire sagas,
and even TV shows and video games.
This is Reaction Time.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 76 of Reaction Time Podcast. What up, Craig?
Yeah, episode 76. Not much. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Yeah. Oh, fantastic.
Great.
I'm excited to talk about The Bear.
Yes, sir. The Bear, season 3
Season 3.
on Hulu, which came out.
I don't know if you know this. They have released a season every year in like June.
Good for them. Like a normal freaking TV
right?
show.
Exactly.
Thank
And
goodness.
they released all the episodes at once.
Yeah. We'll go no
Take note,
spoilers
Hollywood.
here at the beginning.
Yeah.
And we'll let you know when we jump into spoilers. But we're going to talk about The Bear, El Oso, as they call it in Spanish. I guess right off the bat, Craig, what are your thoughts on this season?
I don't want to say disappointed, but this was definitely my least favorite.
Same.
Yeah. Like, still, there was a couple, like, super good episodes, but I felt like the entire storyline could have been put in one episode.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's kind
And,
of
like, a 5-minute recap, honestly.
100%. That's how I feel, is that the show was still very good,
Yeah.
but the story literally did not go anywhere.
no.
It basically felt like a season of kind of backstory and purely character development,
Yes.
which is fine, intermixed
It's fine.
into like a normal season, but it didn't
Yeah.
go anywhere at all.
This is like, I know you don't really watch anime, but like anime has these filler episodes, right? This felt like a filler season,
Yeah. Actually, yeah.
which wasn't great.
Yeah.
Which wasn't great because it was like, it did set up stuff for season 4, but it's like, we have to wait an entire year for season 4 to come out.
Yeah.
And it's like, this season either should have been a little bit longer, or some of these episodes should have been in season 4, and then take some of the stuff that they already have planned for season 4
Yeah.
and put it in here.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely the case. I think the first like few episodes were a lot better. I think like episode 1 through 3
Yeah.
were really good. And then after that,
Yeah.
they were all good. They were really good episodes still.
Yeah, they're all
It's also
good.
good, like the acting and the writing and all of that is still good. But yeah, just so slow. Like after episode 3, it was just each episode took place over like a 10-minute period.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so it's like, kind of felt
It was
a
like-
lot like it was dragging.
It was all this backstory, and then it was like little random filler things, and then like 5 seconds of something crazy.
Yeah.
And then it just went to the next episode, and then it was like backstory. And it was like, okay, I like the backstory. I mean, I want to get to know the characters more, but it really felt like, okay, can we move it along
Yeah.
a little bit?
Yeah. And
So-
I understand why they did some of the things that they did. And I'll talk about like the specifics of some of the episodes that just dragged. Because I get it.
Yeah.
I understand the purpose behind them. But yeah, we'll kind of get to that. But I feel the same way as you. Just kind of, I almost feel like we didn't get season 3.
No,
You know
we
what I
didn't.
mean? So it's kind of, it's,
And I think the biggest problem is season 1 and 2 were so good.
yeah.
And so crazy, and so many things happened that it was like, it's like if you take Breaking Bad and you take the Fly episode, right?
Mm-hmm.
A ton of people hate that episode because the rest of the show is so good. I love the Fly.
Yeah, I
That's
think
one
The
of my
Fly's
favorite
good.
episodes because there's so much like good character development and stuff. They created the Fly, but made it 10 episodes long rather than one episode.
Yeah.
So it's like this incredible show, awesome 2 seasons. You're so hyped up. Everybody's talking about season 3. And then it comes and it's like, okay, well,
Yeah.
There's not going to be much.
Yeah, it kind of feels like, back in the day, they used to, like, in between seasons of a really popular show, they'd maybe do, like, webisodes of some of the side characters to kind of
Right.
fill the gap of interest. That's kind of what this felt like. Almost
Yeah.
like they just weren't done figuring out where they wanted it to go. So they're like, oh, we need to put out a season this year. Let's just do backstory.
Right.
And I doubt that's what happened, because I think these guys are good writers and stuff. But
They are.
I just think the flow of the show overall got really thrown off with this season.
It got super thrown off.
because I was fully expecting like certain storylines to be furthered, and they absolutely weren't at all.
No.
Like a lot of them, actually,
No.
almost none of them were actually furthered, which is weird.
No. And that was kind of my biggest issue.
Yeah.
Was like, I felt like we went nowhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was like, why? Why did we go nowhere with this?
Mm-hmm.
It was cool. It was still good. It was just, you have set the precedence of having these incredible episodes and incredible seasons. And then it's like, okay, we're just going to, again, I would have been fine if it was like a couple episodes, but it just felt like the entire season was just, we don't quite have the story for the
Yeah.
next season done yet, so we're going to make a bunch of filler.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's kind of weird because I almost expected it
Yeah.
to be maybe set up to where maybe season 4 is like the last season. But now I feel like we're still in the middle of all of this.
I know.
So like season 4 can't
There's
be the
n-
last season because there's not time.
There's no way, right?
I
mean,
know. I haven't heard anything that it is.
no.
But
All I know is that they gave an update on the release date, and it was everybody's assuming that it's June because they've been doing that every single episode, every single season,
Yeah.
releasing it in June, and so
yeah.
they're like, it's going good, everything's moving along smoothly. So it's not like we're gonna have to wait a super long time, but it felt like they should have waited
Yeah.
and released more episodes
Yeah.
or mixed them a little bit more.
Yeah, it's just
So.
there was something a little off about the where the story went.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah,
Okay.
agreed.
What would you give it?
As far as a show goes, I still think it's really good, but I do think they lingered way too long on certain things. I'd probably give it like a 7.9.
Okay. I was going to do 7.5.
Yeah, because I do still think acting and writing is phenomenal. Like just
Oh, my
dialogue
gosh,
and
the
character
acting
and
is
stuff.
so good.
It's really, really good. But like the first 2 seasons are like high 9s. You know what I mean?
Oh,
I would say for The Bear.
Season 2 is super high 9.
So super high 9. And so like for The Bear, it's maybe even lower in some aspects. It's hard to say that, overall the show's bad because it's slower. That's not
Yeah.
the case, But yeah, and maybe 4 will just blow everything out of the water, and 3 at that point will kind of feel like it's in its place. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I think
think so.
If they kind of return to form and add to the chaos and further the story, I think when you watch the whole thing as one big thing, it's all going to flow really nicely. So I'm not like upset about it, but it's kind of that
No.
bummer of like, oh, now we have to wait, and I didn't get what I wanted.
Exactly.
It's that delayed gratification.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what I'm assuming. I'm assuming season 4 is probably going to be pretty insane. But it's like, well, I wanted to get a little bit of that.
If season 4 is like season 3, I'll probably start to lose interest, or at least lose like excitement
Exactly.
for the next one. So it's got to kind of
Exactly.
It's got to come out swinging a little bit harder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else spoiler free?
No, I don't think so. Let's jump into it.
I still recommend it. It's still an
Yeah,
incredible
for
show.
sure. Still watch it.
So,
I mean, if you haven't watched the first 2 seasons, definitely watch the first 2 seasons and then watch this one,
yeah.
because it's still a great show. It's just good.
It's still a great show.
It's good drama TV. Like really, really good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
Well,
should we jump into spoilers?
yeah. Follow all our stuff.
Do it.
Everything.
Do it or else.
Just follow it.
Yeah. Okay. What do you got for visuals?
So, the one thing that I was kind of missing in this season was in season 2 when he's at like the AA meeting and he has that like shot of him and it's like a good 7-8 minutes of just like slowly panning in and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted another monologue like that because it was so cool.
Yeah.
And it was just kind of like, I mean, he literally talks for 7-8 minutes straight. Like, that's a lot of dialogue to memorize
for sure.
one take.
Yeah.
You know, because it's just a one shot.
Yeah.
It's got nothing else.
Yeah.
And so visually, everything was cool. But it felt like there was a couple things missing from the first 2
Some
seasons.
of the flair that kind of makes the show what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even just like when they're cutting things or doing that kind of stuff, that it felt different because there was I think an attempt to create anxiety with like, you know, quick flashes of stuff, right? But it almost felt too fast where I was like, there were certain things I felt like I had to rewatch because I was missing it because it was like super fast. Like they'd show you like a text message and they'd like bullet point some of the words, but it was like going through it so quickly.
Yeah.
And it was like, whoa, okay, I know you're trying to create anxiety, but I'm just lost now. Like, slow it down just a little bit. Like, before it felt so natural, where this season, for some reason, it felt a little bit more like they knew that there wasn't as much crazy, hectic anxiety, so they were trying to create it rather than it just being anxious. I don't know. I don't know if you felt the same way. It just felt slightly different.
Yeah, no, it for sure. I feel the exact same way. I do feel like it just lost some of the flair, some of the kind of unique choices that this show makes. A couple things that I still do appreciate is like the aesthetic of the show is very good, and they do a really good job with
so good.
like the food and with costume design and just kind of everything about the way things look. I guess just set design overall, it all looks very good.
Right.
And I think they're filming most things in real restaurants. And I'm sure like their restaurant's probably a set, but then a lot of the other restaurants they go to, I'm pretty sure they're just going to real restaurants. I'm almost positive about that actually, because I think I've seen some behind the scenes where they're like going to these restaurants that people really like meeting the chefs there and filming stuff. And I think that's kind of how they're doing it. But yeah, some of that stuff that just stuck out to me in the first couple seasons wasn't there.
Right.
So it's like, otherwise it's fine, you know?
Yeah. I will say costume design, they're just like the chef clothes and stuff. I don't even know all the stuff you'd call it. It looks so good.
It looks really good. Really good.
It looks so professional. And I know that's what they're going for.
Right. But on top of that, I think they've done a very good job at having everybody wear the clothes that person would wear.
Yeah.
Like just super, super good down to every single last detail.
So pristine.
You know, like Jamie Lee Curtis is wearing exactly what a psychotic mom would wear, and I don't know how else to explain that.
Oh my gosh. She is on another level.
She is a star.
Holy crap.
She's a star.
It's insane to me. She's kind of like the Leonardo DiCaprio where she's like almost never won anything, but she's such a good actor. But her in this show is just another level.
100%.
I mean, I'll get into it with acting, but that episode with her and oh my gosh,
Natalie.
What's her Natalie? Yeah. holy crap.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah, I loved it and I hated it. But yeah, so I mean, I don't really have any other visual stuff. It was kind of like it was really good, but also I'm let down because of the other seasons. So it's kind of tricky in that sense.
Yeah.
If I'm judging it
that's
overall,
kind
it
of-
scores really well. But if I'm judging it against its predecessor like seasons, it's scoring lower.
And you kind of have to.
I have to, yeah, for sure, because it's not on
Yeah.
par with those, and those are really high scoring.
It'd be this.
things.
Yeah, it'd be the same thing as a director. You come to expect things from directors, and if it's less, but it's still better than most directors, it's still less than what they normally can do.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
So,
Do you have any other
so what are you
visual
going to
notes?
give it then? No, I don't have any other notes.
Okay, I would give it 187.
Okay, I was going to do 180.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm hoping they kind of, I don't know. I almost hope that this season was just kind of like, it's weird to say this, but I hope that this season was one where they kind of panic wrote a bunch of stuff and we're just like, we just need to make a season and then put it out. Like, I
Yeah.
hope that that's kind of the case and that
Yeah.
they don't fully feel like, yeah, this is it. You know?
Or they were really thinking about season 4.
Yeah, if they're
And
really,
it was
really
like-
thinking about like the big picture, then that's okay. Maybe we just haven't quite seen the vision. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna.
I get that, but it's also like, because you kind of think of Infinity War and Endgame, but Infinity War was so good.
Yeah.
Right? You needed to wait till Endgame for the full like payoff, but Infinity War was so good. Where this one feels like it felt. I don't even know if it was rushed. It wasn't even really rushed. It was just
It was actually
We're
whatever
taking
the
a back
opposite of rushed
seat.
was.
yeah. We're taking a back seat, but instead of for a couple episodes, it's like a full season.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping 4 is super good, and then we're gonna kind of forget about. Or there's going to be a lot of stuff from season 3 that tie into season 4, and it's going to make sense. But did you need to do it in such a way that made it feel like season 3 was so kind of just You know?
I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's jump into the story.
Okay.
So right off the bat, I think episode 1 is very interesting because literally the whole thing is like just a montage.
And I loved the music in that episode, though.
Super good.
Oh,
Yeah.
the score was so good.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's like almost no talking.
No. Yeah, that's basically all it is. It's really weird.
But it was a great episode.
Yeah, I thought so.
And it made me excited for the season. And then the season happened, and I was like, oh.
Yeah. And again, episodes 1 through 3 were very promising for me. I really liked those, but then there's 7 more episodes and they all kind of felt a little lackluster.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
It was just another backstory, another
Yeah.
backstory,
Yeah.
which is fine. I think if you do a backstory episode, it's okay, but normally you do a backstory for like half of the episode and then you do some character growth that's currently going
Yeah.
on for that individual, but it was just backstory
Well, or you
and then
do-
just 2 seconds.
Yeah, or you do a backstory episode, but it's like a shorter episode, and then the next one capitalizes on that. You know,
Yeah.
but this was like 45-minute backstory episode, 50-minute backstory episode, 35-minute
Yeah.
backstory episode. So it's like weird that they did that.
Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah. All right, what do you got?
I will say my 2 favorite episodes were the one with Marcus and his mom that died.
Like at the beginning, like the funeral and all that?
I think it was episode 3
Yeah.
when he's doing the funeral and he's having his little speech and stuff. Ooh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Right in the feels, dude.
Yeah, that's when you walked into the break room and I was crying.
yeah,
So, yeah.
That's
That's what
that was
that
me
was.
and my wife.
Yeah, it's kind of sad.
And then episode 7, the one with Jamie Lee Curtis. Yeah, I hated it,
Yeah.
but it was probably my favorite episode of the season
Interesting.
because keep going. Sorry.
Sorry, I really liked it, but that's the episode I was going to talk about where I feel like because it just feels tense, and not even necessarily because she's doing anything, but because you know what she's capable of.
Right.
And so you keep waiting for her to like do something way out of line. And it never got there, but I feel like, you know, it's okay for a little bit, and then it starts to get really, really tense, and then you're like, and then I think I got to the point where I realized nothing was going to happen, and then it kept going for a super long time. And I was like, it's not getting more tense, I'm just feeling, I started to feel burned out from the episode.
Okay.
By the time it ended.
I mean, I get that.
So,
but that's almost a testament to how intense, non-intense it actually was.
Yeah.
Because I kind of felt the same way where I was like, what's going to happen? But
yeah.
But that was me feeling that way. You know, it wasn't just because of who Jamie Lee Curtis's character is. And so I didn't necessarily even need to feel that way. It was just I felt that way because I know who her character is and everything like that. So it almost felt really cool that nothing did happen because nothing needed to happen.
Yeah.
It was good character development with Natalie and her mom.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because the last episode you saw her was when she freaking crashed her car into the freaking house. I guess she showed up really quickly when they opened the restaurant for just a quick second. But I guess for me, just the feeling that I got with Jamie Lee Curtis, just that eerie, like intense, like she's almost creepy because of how kind of crazy, insane she is, was so good that I was like, I love this episode. It's because of how it's making me feel, you know?
Yeah, I agree. For sure. So episode 2, there's like, everybody's in the kitchen and they're yelling at each other, and it's kind of classic Bear, like just like everything's crazy and terrible. And then Marcus walks in the room, and you just feel all of the air get sucked out of the room. Because I think you end the last season, not like right at the end, but you end the last season with his mom dying, right? Yep. And so this is kind of the first time I think people have seen him or whatever since that happens, and just silence, dead silence. And then he tells Carmy, he's like, I think I was supposed to be here at the restaurant when she died. And like, I can't remember the exact exchange of words, but like the way he says it is really nice. And then Carmy says like, what do you want to do or whatever? And he just says, take us there, Bear. It's just like, it's so cool. Yeah. And then you're waiting for him to take him there, and then nobody ever takes anybody anywhere for the rest of the season.
That's so true.
Yeah. Like, I thought that was like the moment. I thought that was like the moment where the restaurant's going to take off, and they're all going to, you know, get to work and almost like,
or even have some kind of movement.
Yeah, well, but almost like work their butts off for Marcus.
Right.
You know, but it just didn't happen.
It didn't.
Yeah.
Because you can literally describe this entire season as Richie and Carmy fought. They kind of made up in a way. Dude, their interaction in episode 2 was the funniest thing in the entire world. Just them saying F you over and over again. And was so funny. Mm-hmm. But they do the restaurant for a little bit. Natalie has her baby, and the British lady closes her restaurant. And then there's a review that comes out that might determine if it closes or not. And that's it.
Did Natalie even have her baby?
I think she did. Because I thought they were talking about how Carmy hadn't seen the baby. Oh, I guess so.
We just didn't see the baby.
No, we didn't see the baby.
The episode ends before the baby's even born.
Yeah, because Sydney never made her decision in the entire season. So that literally panned to nothing.
I have a list of things that should have been touched on and were absolutely not. Or resolved. I have a full list. It's like 6 things.
Okay,
It's just weird.
plug them.
Okay, I'll throw them in here. Actually, I have two more. Well, I'll see these ones first. Okay, so first of all,
Okay.
Bear and Claire. Literally
Nothing.
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 10 episodes, 0 contact.
Nope.
Right? Sydney and the Agreement. Nothing.
Nothing. Nope.
Sydney and the Restaurant Dude.
Nothing.
Nothing. Richie and Carmi. Hardly anything at all.
No. Just that one episode.
Yeah. But even
And it was just them
barely
bickering
that.
at each other.
Yeah.
And it was just that was it.
And then like Marcus and his skills and stuff, they touched on it real quick at the beginning of an episode, but I thought they were going to I don't know. I thought he was going to do something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But just
I thought any of the characters were going to do something.
I just feel like they hardly made food
no.
in the show.
Because all of it was stuff from before.
Yeah. So all
didn't
of those,
do
I was like, oh,
anything.
come on, man.
Yeah.
So just none of those things developed from season 3, which is odd.
And Marcus
It's
and
weird.
Sydney, because they were kind of seeming like maybe a thing,
Yeah.
maybe not a thing.
Honestly, my favorite storylines from this entire season were all of the Fact brothers.
Dude.
And the haunting and
they carried this season.
They absolutely carried this season. They are my favorite
John
characters.
Cena.
They are my favorite characters. It's so funny.
The Haunting of John Cena.
Yeah.
That's the new horror movie.
She's haunting you, bro. Maybe he's haunting you.
The Haunting of John Cena.
Okay, so a couple other things really quickly.
Oh, man.
In
Yeah.
episode 3, when they first open the restaurant, it's super unsettling because nobody is yelling at all.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just classical music. It's bizarre. It gives you like this eerie feeling because of what you're used to.
It definitely gives you the creeps.
Which is like they do a good job at stuff like that where they'll get you really used to somebody or something being a certain way and then they'll just like change that vibe.
Oh, yeah.
And the new vibe's normal, but it doesn't feel normal because everything else is your normal, you know?
No.
And then the other thing with Fac is just somebody says, "What do you need?" And he looks at his hands and he goes, "I need more courage." And that's just it. That's his whole thing. It's so funny. I don't know why I love him. He's so funny.
Oh, the Fact brothers are literally like my favorite.
Yeah. And so then
They're so
the
good.
only thing that they do that I've been kind of waiting for that I did appreciate was they finally had Carmi talk to the jerk, whatever that guy's name is.
Yes.
And it was really, I think it was really well done because it was like he wanted to like tell this guy off and he kind of couldn't. He kind of just didn't know how to because he's so full of rage.
Right.
And the dude did not care.
No, well, he was just like, I created you.
Yeah, he's like,
you
I
should
made
be thanking
you who
me.
you are. Yeah.
Yeah, he says you're welcome.
Yeah.
Okay,
That
The Rock.
scene was very good. That was really, really good.
That was so good.
Yeah.
I wanted him to deck him in the face, though.
I
that would have made the
know.
scene
Oh.
perfect.
Yeah.
But it was so good. But I also wanted, I guess, maybe just a teeny bit more. Because you've been seeing these two like all 3 seasons.
I know.
And maybe it was enough.
But
I don't know.
It was,
but it was
I think
like,
it was the right amount because it was so real.
I think it.
That's
Yeah, it
that's one thing they
was.
do a really good job at is they just make things really real, and I think they're good at in a lot of ways like the amount of time that is spent on something. Like a certain
Right.
conversation will be a very natural length of time. It's kind of hard to explain how that is, but like some conversations last a really long time and people talk in circles, and they do that in this show. And then sometimes the
Right.
conversations are really quick and somebody doesn't know what to say and then it's over. And so it did feel very real. Whereas
Well, and I would
as a
almost-
show viewer, you're expecting kind of this big drama scene, and it was absolutely not.
Right. Right.
So
Well, it's almost the same thing with Carmi and Claire. That I didn't like how they didn't do anything with it, but that's more realistic to what would probably actually
Yeah.
happen rather than your rom-coms of they go and they do the exact thing that's the perfect thing to get the girl at the very
yeah.
end. It wasn't that.
plus, this entire season probably takes over like a week.
Maybe 2 days.
So it's like, it's not that much time.
No,
yeah.
it's not.
Do you have any other story notes?
No.
Okay. So what are you going to give the story? This one's tricky.
No. It is tricky because the story overall with the backstories and stuff was very good.
Yeah.
So it's not like it was, and the writing's incredible as always. But the story for season 3 of The Bear, it felt lackluster.
Right. Like I would give the story pretty high marks, but then the pacing I would give really low marks.
Yeah.
Which is, that also makes it tricky. Makes it tough.
But then even the story, in a way, I would also give it low marks because nothing happened.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because even if you switch the pacing, even if you switch around some of the stuff, there's still almost nothing that happens. It's rough because it wasn't bad. It just it was just underwhelming.
Yeah.
Maybe it was just whelming. It was underwhelming. It wasn't just whelming. I'll do a 155.
Okay.
Yeah. I can't mark it too low because story, I mean
Yeah.
the writing and everything is still so good.
Yeah. I'll give it a 168.
Okay.
I still think there were good beats and stuff, and the first little bit was, I think, really good, and there were still some things that were good. And I'm giving bonus points to the haunting and all of the conversation about haunting. I think it's hilarious.
Yeah. That was amazing.
Yeah. Okay, so
The Fact Brothers get a 200.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, their story is incredible. I'd watch a spin-off show about those guys all day.
100%. Better Call Fact.
Better Call Fact. The Haunting in Chicago.
The Fact Busters.
That's actually good. Okay, so acting. First of all, John Cena, 200.
Bro, 200.
Every Fact Brother, 200.
200.
Jamie Lee Curtis, 500.
800.
Is there anybody, actually, I guess, let me ask you this. Was there anybody in this season who was less than perfect for you?
Can I say something that is just because of who she was with?
Yeah.
I wonder how surreal it would have been for Natalie, but Natalie didn't feel as good next to Jamie Lee Curtis because of how good Jamie Lee Curtis was. But you take Jamie Lee Curtis out of it, and Natalie's really good. I think she's a great actress.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
for sure.
In that episode, some of the emotions that she was portraying felt so minimal compared to Jamie Lee Curtis's emotions.
Yeah.
I can't imagine how surreal it would have been to do basically an entire episode of just those two and being I have to keep up with Jamie Lee Curtis.
I know. That would be so hard. For sure.
Because I'm trying to think, other than Jamie Lee Curtis, and maybe Marcus. Well, no, Carmy with that scene with the one guy. I was just trying to think, do I give this a 200 because it's pretty much up there? But was there any insanely memorable moments?
Mm-hmm.
Marcus' speech I think was great. The "Bring Us There, Bear," but then Carmy and the one guy's interaction was very well acted.
Mm-hmm. Very well.
Because Carmy really, really showed his stunned, anger, confused, all of this stuff,
Yeah.
So there was some moments where there was really some good acting that needed to happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so the only one I would say I probably would say didn't do it for me, and I've had a problem with her the whole show though. Sydney is fine,
Yep.
but her anxiety attack didn't really do anything for me.
No, same.
And I think that's because we've gotten like
The really
some
good
good
ones.
anxiety attacks
Yeah.
recently
Yeah.
with other shows.
Yeah, for sure. She was the only one that came to mind of somebody who wasn't like perfect, you know?
Yeah, she's fine.
Yeah. So
But
what'd you give
even
it?
bushy eyebrows guy, he was great to see again.
Yeah.
Okay, who is the kind of evil chef guy? Who is he? He looks so familiar.
He's from Community. He's a main character in Community. That's like the only thing I know him
That's what
from.
it is. Okay, I'll have
But
to look
he's
it
one
up.
of the main like 5 people.
Acting. I'll do 196.
Okay. I'm gonna give it a 198. I'm only giving points off for Sydney.
Okay. Yeah.
She's fine, but it's like
John Cena.
But John Cena, man. What a killer. And I love that it's like John
Why did that
Cena's
become
guy's
such a thing?
Because they're brothers, right? It's hilarious that they are brothers. It could not be further because he's also Vin Diesel's brother. So
Exactly.
in Fast and Furious, so it's like, wow. This guy can play anybody's brother.
Oh man. Why has he just blown up in acting?
Dude, I don't know. Because John Cena, man.
Like-
you don't see him and then he just
But
shows up.
he's perfect. It's
He
so
is perfect.
funny.
He's always perfect.
Because he realizes who he needs to be,
Yes.
you know?
Yes.
And he plays it beautifully.
It's amazing.
That's who I wanted in Roadhouse to be the villain. I wanted John Cena.
That would have
man.
been great, actually. But I don't know
Dude,
if he can
John
be
Cena
serious
and
enough.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
John Cena's a little too funny all the time.
The main villain wasn't serious either.
Yeah, but not on purpose. That's because he couldn't act. That's different.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Okay, so score.
Okay, score.
That's some good stuff.
They had some good stuff. That first episode was
Yeah.
very, very good.
Yeah, really good.
And then just kind of stuff trickled throughout.
Yeah.
Their soundtrack's always great. There was one song that they opened with that I thought was one of the most horrible things I've ever heard. They were talking about being in like a garage or something.
I
and
can't remember what it is.
It was kind of like a rock song, and I was like, "Oh, this is bad." But other than that, I mean, they have those great, intense, anxiety-inducing music,
Yeah.
and they have those really good, just kind of melodic things that play in the background that just make
Yeah.
it better.
Agreed.
So, I'll do a 181.
Okay.
Yeah, good score.
I'll give it a 170.
Nice.
Nothing crazy for me, but some good stuff.
Yeah.
All right, so
Okay.
vibe.
Vibe.
I already have my score.
What's your score?
135.
Okay, I was gonna do 140,
Okay.
and I was like, "Is my 140 being too harsh?"
No.
it's not because you did 135.
Yeah. It just,
Yeah.
again, good, but just honestly, mostly boring. I
Yeah.
think that's the best descriptor.
It wouldn't have been boring if it was just a new show, but
Yeah.
well, even if it was a new show, it still would have been boring because again, nothing happened really.
Yeah.
I understand you need backstory for character development, but you also have to progress the actual story.
Exactly.
And all they did was just kept you hanging. Is Sydney going to do it? Is she not going to do it? Is Carmi going to do anything with Claire? Is he not
Yeah.
going to do it?
Here's the thing. You know, like on older TV shows where an episode will end or a season will end and like the narrator will go like, what will happen next? Will so-and-so do this? Will this happen to this? You could literally put all the exact same questions on the end of season 2 and on the end of season 3. That's
Yes.
my biggest issue.
Yeah.
There's no resolve. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So what do you think you gave it?
862.
Okay, I'm going to say I gave it an 824. You said 862?
Yeah.
Wrong, 852. You suck at this game.
Oh, dang it.
Missed it by...
Actually, I gave Vibe 150, so then it's 862.
Oh, yeah? Okay. I gave it an 858.
I was going to say, I thought you were higher than me. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, well. I suck too.
Yep, you do.
There's no way to guess anything on this. So,
No.
but
It still boggles my mind that we've been correct sometimes
on what?
on guessing our scores.
Oh, yeah.
At the end.
I know. What are the
It's
odds?
insane.
Honestly, you have
What are the
like
odds?
not really even great odds. It helps that everything we
No,
review
not
is like
even a little
over
bit.
800. So you do have like a 1 in 200. But
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, so real
Okay.
quick,
Yeah.
let's see. So the season 3 premiere of The Bear reached 5.4 million views in its first 4 days of streaming, according to Disney.
Okay.
That marks not only the best performance ever for an FX premiere on Hulu, but the most watched season premiere for any scripted series on Hulu.
Holy crap.
That's crazy, dude. And
So-
Hulu is, in my mind, Hulu is one of the lower tier streaming platforms for like original shows.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And maybe I'm missing
Yeah,
a ton
yeah.
of things, but like I just feel like Netflix and Disney are the ones that and Max, those are the ones that have the shows everybody's talking about, and they have them like really consistently.
Right.
You know,
right.
Hulu I think has some of those shows that I think probably are really good, but they're maybe just a little bit smaller, just in like viewership and
Right.
more of like a little cult following or whatever. So
So
that's
I wonder
cool.
what that's going to do, because I looked up, and you know, obviously it's Rotten Tomatoes, but I looked up the reviews for season 3,
Uh-huh.
and the audience score is like 54%.
Okay. That makes sense.
And the other 2 seasons are like 90 plus.
Yeah.
But I wonder where it was the biggest opening of any Hulu FX series, but then it was not the greatest series.
Yeah.
I hope that doesn't like super hurt them, but it might have.
I know. Yeah, I'm wondering about that. Yeah, so here's like a couple
5.4,
Rotten Tomatoes
that's crazy.
reviews. Because that 53% audience right now, one of them just says,
Okay.
so boring it's painful. That's the whole review.
Yeah.
This one
yeah.
is I think one of the better ones. It's short, but it says it still looks amazing and the style is still fantastic, but the storytelling just got repetitive and uninteresting. By the end of the season, I started
Yeah.
fast forwarding through the long shots of Carmen staring intensely at nothing. That's super fair.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Hopefully they can bring it back in season 4.
Yeah, I'm hoping so. For sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so also real quick, we have 2 box offices to keep up on. Number 1 is Inside Out 2,
And Courtney won.
and my wife, she definitely
My
won that.
wife.
Inside Out 2 is currently the 16th highest grossing movie of all time, $1.389 billion.
It might be the number 1 animated movie of all time when it ends.
You think it's gonna pass Frozen 2?
It
No,
might.
wait, what is it? Is it Frozen 2?
Yeah, Frozen 2.
Do you count
I think
The
it's
Lion
like
King?
1.5. Was The Lion King even higher than 1.5?
Yeah, it's number 9. It's 1.6, but that's like a CGI.
They don't count it as animated.
Okay.
They count it as because it's live action.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Inside Out 2 needs, let's see, it needs 100 million It needs less than 100 million. It needs like 60, 70 million dollars more.
Yeah, I think it's going to be the number one animated movie of all time.
Oh, that's crazy, dude.
That's so cool.
I just don't think I saw that coming.
I did not.
Especially before I saw it, right? I was like, this movie is going to do well,
Right.
like probably high 100,000s, you know? But
Right.
But man, being in the mid 1 billions is crazy.
It's insane. And after Pixar's run recently,
Uh-huh.
I really was not expecting it.
Yeah. Dang, dude.
But
that is
it's great.
insane.
It's a fantastic movie.
Yeah, it is a great
So-
movie. And then A Quiet Place, day one, is currently
Oh, yeah.
it's at 224 million.
Wow.
Which is more
Did I
than
say
I thought.
212?
You said 211 and I said 191.
Okay, 224 is way higher than I thought it was going to get. And it's still going.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dang.
I'm kind of surprised. Everyone I've talked to about it, like all my friends, feel identical to us.
yeah.
Or it's like it was fine, but it's just not memorable, you know?
Yeah.
So it's just not going to be one of those movies where I'm like, oh man, I remember being in theaters for that one, you know?
Yeah.
just not that.
No.
Okay,
Yeah.
ideas for episodes coming up. I just recently learned that there are 80 Marvel like movies and shows since like 1999.
Oh,
80.
gosh.
Because I forgot that includes Ghost Rider, the Ben Affleck Daredevil, Elektra, everything. So apparently there's 80. I'm not saying we should do all of them, but I think it'd be fun to rank maybe the MCU. I don't know yet. And then my other thing is,
Okay.
I think at some point we should you think long and hard and rank our top 5 movie theater experiences.
Ooh.
Because like I'm thinking about things like Infinity War. I'm thinking about freaking Revenge of the Sith and the first Quiet Place
Yeah.
and like stuff like that where it's like
Uh-huh.
it's an experience. So I don't know. Could be fun.
Yeah.
Do top 5 or something.
Okay, that could be fun.
Tell some anecdotes, etc. But
That would be fun.
next week we don't have time for that crap, Craig. Do you know why?
No, we don't have time for anything
Do you know why we don't have time?
because we're going to be on vacation.
No, but what are we doing on vacation, Craig?
We're going to go see Deadpool and Wolverine.
Wolverine. So
And we're going to record it a week late.
yeah, odds are you'll probably see next week's episode like early the next week.
Yeah.
So our Deadpool and Wolverine review, expect that like very, very end of July. Probably like 28, 29, probably 29, 30th, somewhere around there. It'll be a random day
Yeah,
of the
and
week.
maybe even sooner.
Yeah. Well, I get home on Sunday night,
Well,
so it
oh,
can't be
okay, I
it
get
can't be
home
earlier than the 28th.
Saturday. Okay.
But
Basically, whenever Sam's ready to just do something, we'll
whenever
we'll do
I'm
it.
ready, baby.
Yeah.
Doing my best. So Craig, this year, real quick before we jump off, what was the beginning of this year? What did we see?
Dune?
What was our first episode?
No, Argyle.
Was that our first episode for the year?
Not only was our first episode for the year, but I think it was our first episode we watched in theaters.
Well, it's very important that I know what our first one for the year was. It was John Wick Chapter 4.
Oh, great movie.
Great movie. So let's see real quick. Since then, Craig has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wins.
Box office. Gross.
You have 5 wins. And I have John Wick Chapter 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 wins.
Ooh.
Wait, we never did Fall Guy. Hold on.
I probably won.
You probably did. Poor Fall Guy.
The Fog. I know. So sad.
$177 million.
Ugh.
Dang, that's
sad.
like one of the few ones where it's been underneath what both of us thought. So, Craig, you have 6. Yay.
6.
6.
I'm behind by
wins.
1. And Courtney's got 1.
And Courtney's got 1. Yes. Man, we've done a bunch of things that don't have box offices because we've done like TV shows and Netflix movies and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Weird. Okay.
Okay, what's your prediction for Deadpool and Wolverine right now?
The box office?
Yeah.
Ooh.
I mean, obviously we'll redo it when we see it, but
So you're not going to count this against me like you tried to do with Barbie?
no.
Okay, so I'm thinking, oh gosh, I'm probably going to shoot really high because it is rated R, but it's also like I think people are going to see it.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to say 1.7.
I literally was going to say 1.7.
Were you really?
I'm not even kidding
let's come
you.
up with an exact number right now just in case. Okay, so that in case it's something crazy, we can go on the record saying this is what it is. Okay, my full guess is going to be 1,706 418 073. Got it.
Mine's going to be 175 264 813
You're missing a number.
4.
You had it at $175 million, Greg. It's almost detrimental to your guesses. That would have been horrible.
Win. Oh man. All right.
Oh,
Okay, well, thanks for joining us. And
yeah.
we'll be doing Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yep. So thanks for listening to today's episode of Wrapping Episodes, Ape Concerts, Trinket Irises, opening new timepieces, if Ireland makes earlobes. Okay, thanks, folks.
Thanks for joining, everybody.
See you later. Bye.
Bye.